For me, it was really hard compared to now.
Now, Leanna Bradley is living her truth, but it took decades. Designated male at birth back in the 30s, Bradley says she never felt that way.
When I was about 7 years old, I began to wear my mother's bra and stuff like that, stuff socks in it and all that kind of stuff to get a female feeling. I'd try to put the lipstick on and all that. But it was extremely difficult because I didn't know anything. I didn't know how. All I knew was that emotion, psychologically, I was a female, and I didn't know why. All I knew that I was different.
But like so many others, Bradley joined the National Guard during the Korean War.
That choice was by peer pressure, you might say.
Inspired, she says.
In a matter of seconds, the anti-aircraft crews are letting them have it.
By newsreels showing men in uniform.
I thought, wow, seeing them nice, shiny uniforms and all that kind of stuff is something I wanted to do.
Soon becoming a Navy Seabee, still dressing as a woman under her uniform, and while no one knew, still being bullied for being different. Bradley eventually earned more than a dozen medals, including a Vietnam Cross of Gallantry, a Purple Heart, and a Good Conduct Medal. But a close call during her very first battle would determine her future.
They sounded the alarm, and as I was running, they launched a mortar. And I didn't know at that time it was a dud. It wasn't until they made the all clear sound, and I was walking back exactly where I stepped so where that mortar ran. If it had been alive, I wouldn't be here.
And that's when Bradley began researching transgender and the possibility of transitioning.
It was really scary. The day I had my surgery it was like sitting on the fence, rocking back and forth. You didn't know what to do, whether it was right or whether it was wrong. But I knew the morning I woke up after surgery and they told me I was a woman, I knew everything was real.
It was 1997. Bradley was 60 years old.
And so my whole life had just passed before me. And it was such a great feeling.
A feeling she had waited a lifetime for, telling us it is a different time.
It's quite out in the open now, and the quality in it is so much better now than it ever was.
But making the transition still is not easy.
One of the big risks that anyone runs in letting the world know who they truly are is that there might be rejection or there might be judgment.
Katie Grant has been counseling transgender men and women for nearly 4 years. She says there is still fear for them as well as their friends, family, and neighbors.
Not something that a lot of people understand really or have a good handle on, and so it's scary to the average person. And that tends to come out sometimes as discrimination and hate.
Grant has not counseled Leanna Bradley, but understands what was at stake all those years ago.
She probably didn't know of a lot of other examples of people like her, and so she really did have to make her own path and find what was going to work for her to feel better and to feel good about herself. And that's, the bottom line of what we all want is to feel good about ourselves and to feel like we are who we are and that's okay.
Bradley says she is more than okay. Retired after 37 years of service, married to her best friend. She tells us it is never too late to be yourself.
It's a total different feeling altogether. I can't say enough for that.
In Galesburg and Rock Island.
My life now is great.
Elizabeth Goodsett, KWQC TV 6 News.
But it was in such a way that they could take this trans